They say the loudest voice in the room is the one that speaks only when necessary. Have you ever noticed that? How the entire atmosphere shifts when certain people finally decide to break their silence. It's not their volume that commands attention. It's the weight their words carry because they've mastered something most of us struggle with daily. The discipline of strategic silence. Success leaves clues, but they're rarely found in what successful people say. The real treasures are buried in what they deliberately choose not to say. I discovered this truth during one of life's harshest lessons. After watching a partnership dissolve over information that should have remained private, after seeing opportunities vanish because plans were revealed prematurely, after witnessing relationships fracture when vulnerabilities were shared with the wrong people, I finally understood what separates those who merely dream from those who actually achieve. The world is full of noise. Everyone broadcasting their thoughts, feelings, achievements, and struggles as if constant disclosure were some virtue. We've been conditioned to believe that transparency equals authenticity, that holding anything back is somehow dishonest. What a dangerous misunderstanding. Look around at the truly exceptional among us. The wealth builders, the innovators, the people whose lives seem to unfold with remarkable precision and momentum. They move differently through the world. They share differently. They protect certain information with unwavering discipline. Not out of fear or insecurity, but out of strategic wisdom. The most dangerous person in the world is not the one who shouts the loudest or throws the hardest punch. The most dangerous person is the one who observes everything and says nothing. Some truths hit you right in the chest. They stop you cold, make you question what you've been doing all these years. This is one of those truths. Have you ever wondered why certain people seem to move through life with a mysterious advantage? They climb higher, build stronger relationships, amass greater wealth, and somehow avoid the common pitfalls that trap so many others. What do they know that most don't? I'll tell you what they know. Smart people understand the immense power of strategic silence. In a world obsessed with sharing, oversharing, and constant digital connection, the wisest among us have mastered the discipline of holding back. They've recognized that certain things, once released into the world, can never be reclaimed, and that restraint, that powerful ability to keep certain cards close to the chest, creates a foundation for extraordinary success. Today, we're going to explore the 3 things that truly smart people never share. And in understanding these boundaries, you may discover why you've been sabotaging your own potential without even realizing it. But first, let me ask you something. Have you ever regretted something you didn't say? Maybe once or twice. Now, have you ever regretted something you did say? I see those nods, those pained expressions. Those are the expensive lessons, aren't they? The words that escaped in a moment of emotion. The confidence is betrayed in an attempt to impress. The vulnerabilities exposed to the wrong person at the wrong time. Words are like arrows. Once released, they cannot be recalled, no matter how desperately you might wish to take them back. They fly toward their target with irreversible momentum. Smart people know this. They've learned, sometimes the hard way, that certain things should remain unspoken, regardless of the temptation to share them. So what are these 3 sacred boundaries that the wise never cross? What are the 3 things that smart people, successful people, guard with unwavering discipline? The first thing smart people never share is their complete financial position. But wait, you might be thinking, what about transparency? What about authenticity? Shouldn't we be open about our successes and struggles? Not when it comes to the full details of your financial situation. And here's why. When you're struggling financially, sharing the depths of your troubles invites 2 dangerous responses. Pity from those who can't help you, and exploitation from those who won't help you. Neither advances your cause. And when you're thriving financially, detailing your success invites jealousy, requests for handouts, and puts a target on your back for everyone from distant relatives to outright scammers. Smart people understand that your financial information is like blood in the water. It attracts sharks. It changes how people see you and interact with you, and rarely for the better. Consider this. How many lottery winners have had their lives destroyed after their sudden wealth? became public knowledge. How many successful entrepreneurs have watched relationships crumble once friends and family discovered the true scale of their success? Your financial position is your business. It's a private matter between you, your immediate family, and possibly a trusted financial advisor. Everyone else gets to know only what serves your strategic interests for them to know. Nothing more. I'm not hiding my success, he told me. I'm protecting it, and more importantly, I'm protecting what that success allows me to do for the people I truly care about. Smart people share financial principles, not financial positions. They'll teach you how to fish, but they won't tell you how many fish they've caught or exactly where their fishing spots are. They understand that mysteries maintain magnetism. The moment you lay all your cards on the table, you lose a certain power, the power of possibility in others' minds. So ask yourself, who really needs to know your complete financial picture? Who benefits from that knowledge? And most importantly, do you benefit from sharing it? The second thing smart people never share is their next big move. Have you noticed how the most successful people seem to surprise everyone with their achievements? One day they're working quietly, and the next they've launched something remarkable. It seems like they went from 0 to 60 overnight. The reality? They've been building, planning, and executing for months or years in silence. Smart people understand that prematurely sharing your plans activates two destructive forces: external resistance and internal satisfaction. External resistance comes from the world pushing back against your ambitions. Some will discourage you out of genuine concern. Others will discourage you because your growth threatens them. Some might even try to beat you to the punch or undermine your efforts. Why give them the chance? Why give anyone the opportunity to place obstacles in your path before you've built enough momentum to overcome them? But the internal satisfaction might be even more dangerous. There's a strange psychological phenomenon that occurs when you talk about your goals. You get a small hit of satisfaction, almost as if you've already achieved them. Studies have shown that announcing your intentions makes you less likely to follow through. Why? Because talking about your plans triggers the same pleasure centers in your brain that actually accomplishing them would. You get the reward without doing the work. Smart people shield their ambitions until the proper moment, not out of insecurity, but out of strategic wisdom. They understand that ideas exposed too early can wither under scrutiny or be stolen by those with more resources but less creativity. Look at history's greatest innovations and achievements. They weren't developed in a town square with the creator narrating each step to a crowd. They were developed in laboratories, workshops, quiet rooms, spaces protected from both external criticism and premature celebration. Your next big move deserves the same protection. It deserves to develop in fertile soil, not to be trampled by skeptics or diluted by yes men before it has a chance to take root. I'm not suggesting you never seek feedback or collaborate. I'm suggesting you choose very carefully who gets to see your vision while it's still vulnerable, who has earned that level of trust, who has demonstrated that they want your success as much as they want their own. For everyone else, let your moves speak for themselves after they're made. The third thing smart people never share is the depths of their personal struggles. This one might surprise you. In an era that celebrates vulnerability and authenticity, suggesting that you keep your deepest challenges private might seem counterintuitive, even regressive. But smart people understand that there's a vast difference between authentic connection and unfiltered disclosure. They know that sharing your struggles with everyone is like handing out keys to your emotional house, and not everyone deserves access to every room. When you're going through something difficult, whether it's health issues, relationship problems, professional setbacks, or inner demons, you're in a vulnerable state. Your defenses are lowered. Your judgment may be compromised, and your need for support may lead you to confide in people who aren't equipped to help you or who won't respect the sensitivity of what you've shared. Smart people are selective about who gets to witness their struggles. They build an inner circle of confidants who have proven their loyalty, wisdom, and discretion. These are the few who get to see behind the curtain. The ones who have earned the right to know your truths, including the painful ones. For everyone else, smart people share their struggles selectively and strategically after they've processed them, learned from them, and transformed them into wisdom that can serve others. This isn't about maintaining a false image of perfection. It's about understanding that timing matters, context matters, and the ripple effects of your disclosures matter. Consider then, when you're in the middle of a storm, you're not in the best position to narrate it. You're focused on survival, on finding shelter, on making it through. The middle of your crisis is rarely the best time to broadcast it to the world. But after the storm, after you found your footing again, that's when you can share your experience in a way that both honors your journey and potentially helps others navigate similar challenges. Smart people understand that their darkest moments aren't for public consumption. They're sacred spaces of transformation that deserve protection during their most volatile phases. And here's something else to consider. Not everyone who expresses interest in your struggles has your best interest at heart. Some feed on the drama of others' lives. Some collect vulnerabilities like ammunition to be used later. Some simply don't know how to hold space for pain without making it about themselves. Your struggles are not entertainment. They're not currency for social connection. They're intensely personal journeys that deserve to be shared only with those who have demonstrated they know how to walk alongside you without trying to hijack your path. So what are these three principles of strategic silence? Protecting your financial position, guarding your next big move, and being selective about sharing your struggles. They all recognize that information is power. And like any form of power, it must be wielded with intention and wisdom. In a culture that often equates disclosure with authenticity, choosing privacy can feel almost rebellious. But smart people understand that true authenticity isn't about revealing everything. It's about being intentional with what you reveal and why. They know that certain information in the wrong hands or at the wrong time doesn't just lose its value. It can actively work against your interests and undermine your potential. So let me ask you, what have you been sharing that might be better protected? What parts of your life have you been broadcasting that deserve more selective disclosure? Where might strategic silence serve you better than continuous commentary? The answers to these questions might illuminate why certain goals remain elusive, why certain relationships feel imbalanced, why certain opportunities never quite materialize. Because here's the truth. In a world where everyone is fighting for attention by sharing more, the real power often lies with those who share less, but with greater purpose and to greater effect. Smart people aren't secretive because they have something to hide. They're selective because they have something to protect their peace, their potential, and their power to choose the narrative of their own lives. So the next time you feel the urge to share something significant, whether it's a financial win, an ambitious plan, or a personal struggle, pause. Ask yourself, does this need to be shared? With whom? The answer might change your life. Because some of the most powerful words you'll ever speak are the ones you choose not to say. And some of the most valuable things you'll ever own are the truths you decide to keep for yourself. This doesn't mean living in isolation or withholding connection. It means understanding that boundaries aren't barriers. They're the foundations upon which meaningful connections are built. They're not walls. They're filters that ensure what you share serves both you and those with whom you share it. Smart people never share these three things indiscriminately because they understand a fundamental truths. Not everyone has earned access to all of you, and that's not just okay. It's essential for both your well-being and your success. Your financial position, your next big move, your deepest struggles, these are sacred aspects of your journey. They deserve protection. They deserve intention. They deserve to be shared only when, how, and with whom you consciously choose. Because in the end, what you don't share can be just as defining as what you do. The most successful person in any room is rarely the one talking the most. It's often the one observing everything and saying only what advances their purpose. It's the one who has mastered the art of strategic silence. And that mastery is available to you, starting today, with your very next interaction? What will you choose to keep closed? What power might you reclaim by closing certain doors that have been left open too long? The answers could transform everything, because smart people never share these three things. And now neither will you. Have you ever stopped to consider just how much of yourself you give away every single day? Every casual conversation, every social media post, every offhand remark, they're all pieces of yourself scattered to the wind. And once released, you can never fully reclaim them. Most people live with their hearts and minds wide open. Boundaries non-existent, filters disabled. They operate as if radical transparency is the highest virtue, as if holding anything back is somehow dishonest or inauthentic. What a costly misconception. Think about the most respected, most successful people you know. Do they tell everyone everything? Do they broadcast their financial details to the world? Do they announce every plan before it's executed? Do they process their deepest pain publicly in real time? Or do they move with a certain mystery about them? A certain sovereignty over their own narrative? I'm willing to bet it's the latter, because truly successful people understand something fundamental. Discretion isn't deception, it's discernment. And discernment may be one of the most underrated virtues in modern society. Let's go deeper into each of these three areas that smart people protect with unwavering discipline. Your financial position, this goes beyond simply not flashing cash or talking about your salary. This is about understanding that money conversations change relationship dynamics in subtle but profound ways. When people know you have more than they do, expectations shift. Resentments can form. Your generosity becomes expected rather than appreciated. Your setbacks might be met with schadenfreude rather than support. Conversely, when people know you have less than they do, other problematic dynamics emerge. Your opinions may carry less weight. Your boundaries might be less respected. Your value to the relationship might be subconsciously diminished. Smart people understand that money knowledge creates imbalance, so they keep their exact position private, allowing relationships to develop based on character and connection rather than net worth. This doesn't mean being dishonest if directly asked, but it does mean recognizing that your complete financial picture is privileged information, not for general consumption. Consider how differently people treat lottery winners once their windfall becomes public knowledge. Distant relatives appear with sob stories. Friends expect lavish gifts. Strangers approach with investment opportunities. The winner suddenly becomes a target, a resource to be tapped, rather than a person to be known. Why invite that dynamic into your life? Regardless of your financial position, whether you're doing exceptionally well or temporarily struggling, broadcasting your financial status rarely serves your long-term interests. Instead, let your lifestyle speak a measured truth, one that neither exaggerates your success nor emphasizes your challenges. Let your generosity be driven by choice rather than others' knowledge of your capacity. Let your financial journey remain largely private, a course charted by your values rather than others' expectations. As for your next big move, this discretion serves multiple purposes, each protecting your potential in different ways. Beyond the external resistance and psychological satisfaction we've already discussed, there's another important reason to keep your plans private. Plans change. Ideas evolve. Directions shift as new information emerges. Think about writing a book. Most accomplished authors don't share early drafts with everyone they know. They might have a small circle of trusted readers who provide feedback, but they don't broadcast their raw work to the world. Why? Because premature exposure can kill a developing idea before it's your goals, your projects, your ambitions. They deserve the same protection. They deserve space to develop their full potential before facing the world's judgment. This doesn't mean working in complete isolation. It means being intentional about who gets to witness your work in progress. It means choosing collaborators and confidants who understand the vulnerability of nascent ideas and respect the privacy they require. Some of history's greatest achievements were developed in relative secrecy until they were ready to be revealed. From scientific breakthroughs to business innovations to artistic masterpieces, many were protected from premature exposure until their creators deemed them ready for the world. Your next big move deserves the same chance to develop its full power before it meets public opinion. And finally, your personal struggles. This might be the most counterintuitive area of discretion in an age that often equates vulnerability with indiscriminate sharing. To be clear, seeking support during difficult times is not just healthy. It's essential. No one should suffer alone when connection and understanding are available. But there's a vast difference between strategic vulnerability with chosen confidants and broadcasting your pain to anyone willing to listen. Smart people understand that not everyone has earned the right to your pain. Not everyone has demonstrated that they know how to hold your vulnerability with care rather than casualness, with respect rather than gossip, with empathy rather than judgment. Sharing your struggles indiscriminately creates several risks. It can make you vulnerable to those who might use your pain against you. It can create a narrative about you that becomes difficult to transcend even after you've healed. It can attract people who are drawn to your wounds rather than your wholeness. Perhaps most importantly, processing your deepest challenges in too public a forum can impede your own healing journey. Transformation often requires protected space, a crucible where difficult emotions can be felt, examined, and integrated without the complicating factor of managing others' reactions to your process. Smart people build a trusted inner circle for their darkest moments, people who have proven their wisdom, discretion, and genuine care. These are the ones who get to see behind the curtain, who get to witness the unfiltered truth of their struggles. For everyone else, they share selectively, strategically, and usually retrospectively, after they've gained enough perspective to transform their pain into wisdom that might serve others. This isn't about maintaining a facade of perfection. It's about understanding that your healing journey is sacred ground, not public property. It's about recognizing that vulnerability, to be truly powerful, must be offered with intention rather than desperation. Consider how we treat physical wounds. We don't leave them completely exposed to the elements. We clean them, protect them, sometimes cover them with bandages until they've healed enough to face exposure. Emotional wounds deserve at least the same level of care. Smart people understand this. They know when to seek support and from whom. They know the difference between processing with trusted confidants and performing pain for public consumption. Together, these three areas of strategic silence, financial position, future plans, and personal struggles, create a powerful foundation for both success and well-being. They establish boundaries that protect your most valuable assets, your peace of mind, your forward momentum, and your authentic connections. In a world that increasingly treats privacy as suspicious and restraint as inauthentic, establishing these boundaries might feel countercultural. You might face pushback from those accustomed to unrestricted access to your inner world. You might even question yourself, wondering if you're being too guarded or not authentic enough. But consider this, true authenticity isn't about revealing everything to everyone. It's about living in alignment with your values and engaging with others in ways that honor both your truth and your boundaries. Smart people understand that some truths are meant to be shared widely, some are meant to be shared selectively, and some are meant to be held close, at least for a time. Discerning the difference isn't deception, it's wisdom. So as you move forward, I challenge you to examine your patterns of disclosure. Where might you benefit from more intentional boundaries? Where have you perhaps been sharing too freely, too quickly, or with the wrong people? What might change if you held your financial position more privately? If you protected your next big move until it gained unstoppable momentum? If you were more selective about who gets to witness your struggles while they're still raw? The changes could be profound. Relationships might deepen with those who've truly earned your trust. Progress toward goals might accelerate without the drag of premature exposure. Your sense of personal power might expand as you reclaim control over your own narrative. Because that's what this is ultimately, claiming your power to choose to choose what you share, when you share it, how you share it, and with whom. In a culture that increasingly pushes for constant visibility and total accessibility, this reclamation becomes a radical act of self-respect. It becomes a declaration that your life is your own, not content for others' consumption, not an open book for casual browsing, but a carefully curated experience shaped by your intentions and protected by your boundaries. Smart people never share these three things indiscriminately because they understand the immense value of what they'd be giving away. They recognize that certain information isn't just private, it's precious. Your financial position represents your security and options. Your next big move represents your potential and aspirations. Your personal struggles represent your growth and resilience. All three deserve fierce protection from casual exposure. All three benefit from intentional sharing rather than automatic disclosure. So the next time you feel the urge to share something significant, or the pressure to do so, ask yourself, has this person or group earned access to this part of my life? Will sharing this information serve my highest good? Am I choosing this disclosure, or am I responding to external expectations? The answers might change everything about how you engage with the world and how the world engages with you. Because in the realm of personal information, less is often more. Strategic silence often speaks volumes. And the things you choose not to share may ultimately protect the very possibilities you most want to create. Smart people know this. Now you do too. The path of strategic silence isn't always easy. It requires discipline when you're excited about a new venture. It demands restraint when others are pressing for details. It calls for discernment when cultural currents push toward indiscriminate sharing. But the rewards, they're immeasurable. Peace that comes from knowing your most valuable information is protected. Power that emerges when you control your own narrative. Progress that accelerates when your goals are shielded from premature exposure and criticism. This is the wisdom of those who achieve uncommon success. Not because they know more than others, but because they understand better what to do with what they know, including when not to share it at all. It's available to you right now with your very next interaction. What will you choose to keep close? What power might you reclaim by closing certain doors that have been left open too long? The answers could transform everything, because smart people never share these three things. And perhaps starting today, neither will you. The most dangerous person in the world is not the one who shouts the loudest or throws the hardest punch. The most dangerous person is the one who observes everything and says nothing. Remember that, live that, and watch how your world changes. The real masters of life aren't those who accumulate the most knowledge. They're those who apply the most wisdom to what they already know. And sometimes the highest wisdom is knowing when to remain silent. Consider the garden. The most beautiful flowers don't bloom continuously. They cycle through periods of dormancy, gathering strength below the surface where no one can see. They withdraw, they conserve, they protect their essence until the perfect moment arrives for expression. You are no different. Your ideas, your financial journey, your personal challenges, they all benefit from periods of protected development. They all grow stronger when shielded from casual observation and careless commentary. This isn't about living in secretive isolation. It's about recognizing that not all soil is fertile for your most precious seeds. Some environments nourish growth, others stunt it. Smart people know the difference and they plant accordingly.
I've watched countless promising ventures with it because they were exposed too soon. I've seen brilliant ideas diluted by too many opinions before they were fully formed. I've witnessed personal transformations interrupted because they were subjected to public scrutiny before they had sufficient strength.
Don't make these mistakes. Protect what matters most. Create sacred space for your most valuable work, both the work you do in the world and the work you do within yourself. The most powerful moves in any game are often the ones your opponent never sees coming. Not because you've been deceptive, but because you've been disciplined enough to develop them privately until the perfect moment for revelation. Society pushes us toward constant disclosure as if holding anything back were somehow inauthentic or suspicious. Resist this pressure. Understand that boundaries aren't barriers to connection. They're the foundations that make meaningful connection possible. Your financial position, your next big move, your personal struggles. These aren't public property. They're sacred aspects of your journey that deserve protection, intention, and selective sharing based on earned trust rather than casual curiosity. Master this discipline. Embrace the power of strategic silence and watch as your life transforms, not through any magical new information, but through the conscious protection of the valuable information you already possess. Because in the end, what separates extraordinary outcomes from ordinary ones often isn't what you know. It's how wisely you guard what you know until the right time, in the right way, with the right people. A lot of wisdom is available to you now. Will you claim it? Dishco Support speaking. As an FII, this call will be monitored for quality assurance and training purposes. Let me pull up your details quickly. Give me just a second. Then you tell me your account email or phone number to confirm your identity. Okay, there you are. So what specs are you looking for in the upgrade? Any specific features or stuff that you've got your eye on?